What is up, YouTube? It is Tuesday night, January the 12th. It is 8:19 p.m. Central Standard Time, and wherever you guys are, it is time for some Torch Talk. We got an awesome episode tonight. I'm excited. Mike's excited. Daniel's excited. So let's get straight on. I know the viewers are excited too. So you can see how excited Daniel is here.
Always.
Always excited. And so yeah, let's get to the intros and let's get some cooking going here. We got Daniel Smith, our buddy from Florida.
Hello, everybody.
And he's gonna do a fume. Is it honeycomb or can I? Should I call it a comb?
It'd be a fumed inside-out honeycomb. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Reverse honeycomb, right? I think some people like to call them.
or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Something in that range.
Sweet titles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff, though. The colors are crazy. So we're going to check that out in a few seconds. You can find Daniel on YouTube, right here on YouTube, at 27boy, the number 1. Everything else that I said was spelled out. 27boy and then 1. Link is in the description down below, and you can check that out there. It's good to have Daniel with us. He's a badass, and we're going to get to check out some of his methodology behind some fume work that he's doing. So it's great to have you, Daniel.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
next to him on our screen, we have the one, the only Mr. Mike Mason.
Hey, everyone.
You can find Mike Mason on Instagram at Mike Mason Glass
Yes. Yes.
or Facebook at Mike Mason.
Yeah. There's actually content coming to Instagram these days. It's one of my 2016 things. I'll be putting more and more stuff there.
He's actually more active on Instagram than I am now, which I've taken a little bit of an absence from it for some reason. But yeah, so it's the tables have turned.
Right?
Sir.
That's crazy.
But yeah, you can find Mike on all those social platforms and the Torch Talk Facebook as well. I'm Will. You can find me at setxglass.com, Instagram, wherever. You can find me. Links in the description, everybody below. So, Daniel, we're going to do... Now, you're going to take some precious metals, right? And you're going to burn them in a fire.
Correct.
Capture all that awesomeness on glass. And, oh, what is this you're holding up here? Is this some of the precious metal there?
That is what we're going to be using. Some of the Canadian silver.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Canadian 1 ounces.
Canadian 1-ounce silver. Now, you're just going to stick the whole coin in the fire, right? And then...
No. We're going to go piece by piece. We got a couple of set up. I'm going to show those how much I have on the ends of them, too, so you can kind of see and get a range of and grab those.
Awesome. Yeah. For those of you guys that are somehow in the dark on Daniel's work, Daniel has been doing these honeycombs for a little while now, several months I think at least, and he's been posting pictures on the Torch Talk Facebook, and man, they're very, very beautiful. His fume work is really on point these days, and yeah, he's been hanging out in the 24/7 hangouts doing this stuff too, which I think is really cool, man. So show us what you got there, Daniel. If you have a couple of examples, I think you said you had.
Yeah, right here I got a couple pieces of the silver just handled up how I got it. And I can show putting on one of those too, but I got nice little pieces on the end of the rod right here, and I try and keep it to where there's the silver just on top, so you don't have like glass behind it affecting how it's spraying into the cup.
All right. Gotcha.
So
just on the
get
tip.
it right there, so it
Just the
stays
tip.
above it. And that's what I'm using. Canadian silver ounces.
And are you just shaving that stuff off with like a razor blade, or because it's pretty brittle or soft metal, right?
Yeah, with these I'm actually cutting pieces off using bolt cutters. I'll just take bolt cutters and cut myself down little chunks off of them.
All right.
And attach it that way. And I got some of the honeycombs that I will be doing. I'm going to do a hollow one on this. And this is an example of it. If we can shoot. There we go.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it shows it.
The colors, we were noting this beforehand. I mean, you got purples, oranges, yellows, reds. They're just, I mean, everything, all the way through the spectrum of color is represented there.
That's the ones that I really like, are the full spectrum when you get all the colors captured in it, which is like the ones I'm really trying to go for, locking down. I'm pretty much... a lot of it depends on mine with the kind of glass I'm using and stuff like that. Other people can get the colors with all kinds of different glass, but to me, I found like certain glasses really help me get the color that I'm looking for a lot easier. And with these ones, I'm going to be using Cymax for the actual honeycomb, and I would be using Cymax rod to dot it, but I only have a shot. But still, that's what I did these ones with, was the shot to dot and Cymax for the cup.
Shot to dot, I love it. And so that you don't necessarily. I mean, I've heard this a lot that there's a difference, and everybody pretty much that's been working with Fume a while knows it, that there is a difference between Cymax and shot, and that shot. When you fume with shot, you can get some colors, but you get more of like a tanny, kind of a milky kind of color.
It's easier on it to mess up the strike and overstrike it or over reduce it or do any of that kind of stuff to where it just whites out. A lot of it will white out and lose a lot of its color. But I see people do it all the time. I see people playing around with like using boron and stuff like that in their honeycombs and playing with different things like that to trap it and lock in the colors that they want instead of burning it all out. Protect the silver a little bit. But to me, I found that I like, for the full spectrum ones, I like using the Cymax. I see for doing like the purple ones and stuff like that, the Cymax and or like some Kimball, or I see people like in older Pyrex for doing them. And you can do them with gold also. There's different ways to do it with like gold. These ones are just going to be all silver though, because I like the silver can strike through the whole spectrum, so you get to see a little bit of all the colors in it. That's what I like about silver a lot.
Yeah, and there's some colors that can be found in silver, but man, you and people like Freddie Farron and like a lot of the guys that do fuming and stuff like that. There's so many fumers. I don't really consider myself a fumer too much, but I do enjoy it. But you guys have just taken it to the next level, and I love it. I love those little twists you got in there, man. That's just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that's just with the air removed out of it and then twist it all up.
Oh, wow.
This one I'm just going to do like the first one that I showed, the hollow one.
Yeah, now you guys can obviously use these for attachments on whatever you want, whether it's a rig, a pipe, a vessel, a Q-tip jar, whatever the fuck you want to make.
Put them on hands, spoons, pendants, all kinds of stuff. Got little halves of ones that I'll put on pendants and things.
Yeah, that would make a really nice pendant, that's for sure. Yeah.
Got one going out to the Kevin from Torch Talk on here. Get this out to him.
Okay, Kevin, is it Kevin Twig?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So got that one going out for him.
Hope I pronounced your name right, Kevin. My bad.
I see people doing it a few different ways. Some people actually make the comb on the pipe that they're going to make, so they'll make it on a bigger piece and actually make the rest of the pipe off the back of the piece that's left over from the end. And some people will take it and they'll attach that cup to a separate piece and make it directly on the piece that they're working with, because maybe you can control the strike a little bit better doing that. Just having your cup attached and building it right off the piece as opposed to trying to take it off and do all that kind of stuff. If you get the flame in a certain spot or something like that, I'll try and show it all, but you can mess up the strike to it, at least from what I found. And I just want to say that it's like, this is how I do it, and other people are going to have a ton of different ways and everything, but this is how I'm doing it.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
But I got to give props out to Michael Shepard. Big props to that dude, because he laid down all the knowledge. If people haven't know about melting pot, stuff like that, get on Melting Pot, check that out. Tons of good info. He was kind enough, he goes by Cheese Nip, was kind enough to put up a Quest for the Honeycomb thread, is what really got me diving down deep and giving it a try and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So I got to say big props to him.
Word,
man.
Yeah, great resource there.
Absolutely. So, and what's cool is, like, just in the short time we've been discussing this topic here, man, like, I knew that there was such a thing as messing up a strike, but I didn't really realize that that's what I was doing, probably for like 90% of the striking that I'm doing, where you can strike it or over reduce it, as it were. And so what is your thought processes, Daniel, on like how to avoid that? Is it limited working time? Is it more oxygen and less heat, or what's your methodology there?
With these ones, what I've found has helped me a lot was I'm running my propane right now. I'm on a GTT Phantom. I use the Lynx centerfire to do my fuming on these, and I'm running my propane at like 4.5, and I'm running the oxygen is at 60 right now. So it's really
definitely more propane. No,
yeah, really low propane. I'm getting. And the ones that I'm going to be doing, this one's like full spectrum. I'm going for no reduction in it. I want no reduction into the the tube once I fume inside of it. I got like a little clip, step-by-step thing that I kind of drew up to show it.
Cool. So you have a 12 mil blow tube here,
or a point,
or a
whichever
point.
one you use, and then I got my silver on the end of the rod, and I'm just fuming inside of the cup.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Inside. I got it. I like it.
And then I'm closing up the point, closing my open end, and I'm just trying to get, the main thing is no reduction in it. I want none of that reduction flame. I don't want any of the silver to reduce, any kind of haze and anything like that. I want that all burnt off, and I want it to be almost like a nicotine yellowish type color for the one I'm gonna try and do.
Okay. All right. I like that description. Nicotine yellow.
Yellow.
Then I'm blowing it out super thin and even, almost to where you almost get that distortion in the wall, where when you blow something out super thin, it almost wants to just like get that crinkle skin on the outside.
Yeah, gets a little wavy on you.
Near flick through it. Then I'm doing the dots on the outside. So it's got fume on the inside. These are clear dots. So you'd have your clear dots in your pattern laid on the outside. And then I'm going to condense it all down. And your clear dots end up making your lens and all that, and it builds up. And then you get your dots and your pattern trapped on the inside. And then it's going to be flame struck. Or you can do kiln striking or whatever. Flame striking works best for me, so that's what I'm going to show in this.
All right. That's good for a demo too.
Like I was saying, some people will use the whole blank. Once they get the comb on there, you basically build the rest of your pipe out of it. That's just another way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, very slick.
It always helps me to have like pictures and stuff like that, so I like to try and show with a little bit of picture behind it, so it's not just like descriptions. I feel like sometimes you lose a little bit.
Yeah, like we were discussing. Yeah, we were discussing earlier, me, Mike, and Daniel, about visual learning and stuff like that. I'm definitely a visual learner. I think these guys are too.
Yeah, I certainly am. And yeah, I should do that more often, but I definitely like to go through the steps that way too. I find that very helpful. Kind of, okay, everybody, here's what we're going to do. So that way they can kind of have a little bit of a preconception of what's coming, so so you can kind of stay in the moment a little better instead of wondering exactly where it's going or whatever. In any event, yeah.
And I got a couple, maybe 3-4 inch blanks of, I want to say it's 38ish, maybe 32, 38 Max or whatever size they use that's right around that. I know they have little different varying sizes, but it's somewhere right around that. Someone kicked me a tube of it down from the shop, so I'm not 100% sure on size, but it's right in that range. And
what wall is it?
This one's heavy wall, but it works with all the different, pretty much standard wall, whatever you want to use.
Just got to be blown out thin, like you were saying in the diagram.
I mean, standard wall for some people works better too, because I mean it's already almost right there, and you're basically going to have more fume per inch of glass. It's going to be more.
All right.
That may work better for you. May work better for some people. This works good because I just have that control where it's like when I'm condensing it back in, I got a lot more control to let it work back to the handle, so it doesn't just start flopping around everywhere. But we got this, and I'm ready if you guys are ready.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. Let's
yeah,
see
man.
Of
course, dude.
Alright, I got a couple.
Yeah. I'm stoked, actually. This is a demo I've been wanting to see on here, and a number of people have been wanting to see this type of implosion.
We've got a lot of requests for Daniel to come on and do this one for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, Daniel, again for coming on and doing this. This is badass.
Of course. Yeah, good tip for picking up silver too. If you got some kind of torch or a hand torch that you can tape to the silver instead of trying to like heat up your little rod and like dab it on it and like chasing it around and stuff, just heat up the rod and heat up the silver a little bit and it just grabs it.
Oh, nice.
Pick it right up.
That's pretty cool.
And then also if you have problems with your silver popping off the end of the rod when you're going to fume or stuff like that, take your hot blank or whatever you're going to be doing that's already hot and just rest your silver or rest that the whole rod of it with it on the end inside your blank for a couple seconds and it won't pop off on you.
Awesome.
All we need is a lighter and we can do this. Alright.
A lighter to start the torch.
So I got your basic little couple inch blank on the 12 mil. And I'm going to kick it up. This one, I'm going to put it in with a little bit more. Most people when they fume silver, they're going to use a little bit of reducing. With this one, I'm going to actually do it with a little bit longer candles and a little bit more oxygen. And I'm going for that, like when you have when you use so much silver that it lays off that cloud, you almost get like a plume of it.
Yeah.
You're going to be wanting to do that. So that's all that I'm trying to trap a ton of silver in here. It's pretty much more than any other technique that I've ever seen for trying to lay down like fumes and stuff. You're going pretty heavy. All right, so like I said, I got my silver. It's cold. I can just put it inside this blank for a second, and that'll warm it up.
Yeah, really cool tip right there for your metals, especially the gold.
And now I'll just preheat this a little bit. Get that to where it's really cooking.
Cookie cook.
My glasses on. Safety first, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, you definitely want to blow glass with didinium lenses, guys and gals. Don't blow glass without it.
Once I start really getting that fume, I'll find the right flame that I create. There, it starts cooking, and then I go right into it and just fill that cup.
You preheat the blanket. I mean, you had it in the kiln, I guess, right? So it was already hot.
Yeah, just in the kiln.
Okay.
See, there's the first bit. Now, any of that haze in there, I can go in with a little oxygen flame. And then I'll cook that right out. And then it'll clear it back up.
Oh, nice.
And then go right in with my other. I got a little bit more silver on here. I just like to keep the little fresh ones around. Just makes it a little faster. Warm that up for a second. And lay in some more.
And you don't use an earplug in the back of your blow tube, so...
You can. It'll heat up.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it's getting a little warm.
Good. Alright, same deal. And I just keep adding silver till that thing looks like I want it to. And then I'll show it when it's like that. I heard a ding. We're still good, right?
Yeah, we stopped broadcast. No, I'm just kidding. We're fine. Keep going, my brother. I don't know why I fuck with people. I'm an asshole for that. I apologize.
Damn it, Will.
I'm sorry.
See, it's almost still clear right there.
Oh,
Right.
wow. Yeah.
So we need some more silver, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm just laying in more.
All right, gotcha.
Cool.
So you want that thick, that cloudy.
Yeah, I don't want it all boiled up in there, but I definitely want a nice heavy-ass coat.
Sweet.
Our buddy JoJo in the chat room says...
Yeah, the little rod with the silver on it to get the silver to come up to the surface.
Okay.
Good way if it starts sinking in on you. Just give it a little squeeze.
Yep, yep.
Oh.
Do you ever use quartz rods for fuming?
I haven't yet. I gotta get some.
Okay, yeah, they prevent that, but some people don't care for them. Feel like it adds an additional.
It's got a lot of reduction. That thing's dark right now.
Damn, man, look at the colors on that thing, though. Goodness.
Yeah, you can actually...
What the heck?
Colors
Looks like
already.
space.
Yeah, that thing, like, wait a minute, what?
What happened? I missed
Yeah, we've already crossed into the magic stage.
Yeah, you can see that right there. It's got crazy, like, gasoline-looking tones in it.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Iridescence, or whatever that effect would be called.
All right, so that's pretty good, though. I know I got enough silver in there. It's in it. It's got that. It's back to clear. Now I'm just going to keep my flame oxidizing, and I'm going to not get any reduction. I don't want reduction coming off of paddles. I don't want any kind of reducing flame or anything to get in there from this point.
All right, gotcha.
A lot of people got a bunch of different ways to close these things up. I like to give it like a little push from all the different sides. or just close it up with the paddle, but don't let any of that like kicking off of it go back down in it.
All right.
Wow.
Get it nice and warm. Now go from one side, give it a little push in there. Hit the other side, I'll give it a little push in there. And just quarter it off. I'm just quartering it off and just kind of like pushing it all closed to get it to where I can just grab that up and close it up.
I can dig it.
And I like to hold it at this kind of angle because that keeps it from anything shooting, catching a lip, and then shooting back down in it. Get that whole end hot, and then I'm just going to grab all that extra on top and close it down. Same thing right here. Once you got it in there, just main thing is getting no reduction inside of it. That's like a big killer.
That flame sounds angry.
A lot of air rolling through it.
It's an angry flame.
Now I'm just working the little top part so I can pull that off. And that'll end up being the termination point. That's where basically my center dot's going to go over that point.
Okay.
All right.
And that'll keep you, when you can really blow out your bubble super nice and even and thin, and you got like that termination point real centered in, and you get your center dot over it, that's what'll hide that little fume tail that you'll get sometimes from the implosions that come all the way up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give it the really good look. It'd be nice and even. So right now, all that extra, I'm just gathering that up. I'm going to take that off.
All right.
Kind of mark that down, get it like a nice even wall compared to the rest of it. I don't want to pull a lot of that fume out. I just want to get it back to a nice evenness.
Daniel, the question came through. When you say no reduction in there, are you talking about flame? Or are you talking about like getting inside the tube and burning all that stuff out? What are you referring to there exactly?
Just not trying to get any of the reduction style flame inside of it or any kind of to have your silver reduce at all.
Gotcha. Inside the tube. Gotcha, yeah. Once you've got the tube closed, though, you've captured everything essentially, correct? I mean, there may be some.
Yeah, I still don't even like to have it in a reducing atmosphere or anything like that, though.
Gotcha, because that will change the way the particles align and this and that kind of thing. I'm not an expert on fuming, but whatever's happening in there, I guess definitely does change with your flame chemistry for sure.
So I got it closed up. I got my bubble of fume. Now I'm just going to heat the whole thing to get everywhere that I'm going to be dotting nice and hot so I can blow it out into that real thin, even bubble.
Mm-hmm. The bubble.
I should hook up my blow tube. But, yeah, I'm going to hook up my blow tube. Why not?
Oh, there he goes, folks. He's going in for the blow tube.
The bubble!
The bubble!
It explodes!
In your face, it explodes!
In your face! Alright.
I love it.
You can see it. You can see the fume in there almost doing its thing right now in the line. It's made like a little line where it's hot and not.
Ah.
So I'm going to get this whole, I'd say about front 3/4 of the bubble nice and even hot so I can blow it out. I'm working more on the back right now because the front is already a little bit hot from me doing all that. So I'm kind of focusing my flame a little bit back there, just trying to even it out. And sometimes I have a little bit extra on the ends of these, and I'll make a little second mini comb that matches it off the little stump that I end up tearing it off of.
Stump.
Stump. Yeah, I had to get that in. I'm sorry.
And what's weird is I just typed that in the chat room too. A little bit of serendipity there, and we're not talking about the glass. So.
Alright, so I got that nice and ready. I'm going to puff out my bubble super thin. Bam.
Yeah, that was a beautiful visual as it cooled enough to see and as it blew out to thin out to see. The whole thing was gorgeous, man.
Now I'm going to lay out my dots. Some people like to start from the sides. I like to start from the front. It all depends on what you like. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to eyeball my center. And what's good with these, if you don't get on center, just turn the center into like a 3-dot pattern. Or, you know, like change up your pattern to where it just looks like it should be there. If one's off center, make the center 3 dots instead of 1 dot.
That just about sums up my entire glass career right there.
Boom.
Okay. Everything got fucked up. Let's market it this way.
Yeah.
See, like that one's a little bit up there, so I'm just going to turn it into a 3 dot.
There you go.
And with these, you got to be pretty quick on dotting because you'll get to a few rows down and they'll want to crack on you just because the amount of fume that's in them, I feel like, has a definite effect on the glass.
All right. I see.
And I like to get a little bit fatter dots as I work down. So I'll just do like a dot, skip a dot, skip a dot. And then slowly, as I work down the bubble, I would get little fatter dots. And if I had worked from the other way, I would just start up with little fatter dots and work the smaller ones on this side. Now we got like a second row in there. Now we're just going to go in on a third row. And the main thing you're just trying to do is evenly space your dots apart. And just keep it like if you think of a honeycomb or something like that, there's no real, it's just numbers, you know, really. So they have the numbers in there.
Yeah.
Some people that do, like, I was talking to Bob earlier about it. He does the honeycombing from the bottom as opposed to how I do it. And he'll go by numbers. So he'll, like, count up this first row that he does around the main bubble and then just do dots in between on that for the rows above it. And then slowly just get tighter as you get to the top of your bubble. Now, like right here is where it starts to get to where it'll start tinking, cracking if you're not super quick with it, which happens, but it's not like the end of the world. It's still alright to keep going once it does. Just give it a quick reheat if you really need to, but try to just operate real fast while it's still warm. I might flash this one for a second just to be safe.
Give it a little flashy.
I think I'm on like row 4 or something like that. 4th row. I'll show it off once I get them all on there.
Excelente.
There we go. Give that a quick heat.
Still in that oxygenated environment on the flame, correct? Yep.
Yeah, I pretty much use oxygen flame the whole way through this, I think. But I've seen other people just do it other ways, but this is just the way it works for me.
Sure.
All right.
Clearly it works, man. It looks good.
Alright, I think I'll do one more big row on this one. I'm going to make this one bigger than the others. It's going to be my last row.
Okay.
And I'm just doing the dot, skipping a dot. Doing the dot, skipping a dot.
Dots are a skill that you should definitely develop, but man, tedious. Painstaking, time-consuming, all that.
Yep. Definitely got to kind of get in a robot mode when you do it, and just kind of get that repetitive motion down. But yeah, it's
And hit it. You just got to go.
right. Yeah, it definitely requires a lot of practice. But for some people, it's gonna be more natural. For other people, man, it's gonna take some time. But I guarantee all of y'all out there can do this. You really just have to, like I said, just you're a robot, over and over again. I forgot we're not presenting, so nobody saw my elaborate hand gestures showing you how robotic you have to be. So just imagine.
Oh, one more.
Funny.
All right, one more dot. There we go. Warm this up for a second. Ooh, we got a little tinky tink. It'll be all right though. She'll live. Get this warmed up to where I can show you guys.
Show yous.
Alright, you can see that? Got that bubble blown out, dotted up. Center's 3 dots. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and then another dot on the top center.
Awesome.
So now I'm just going to work on condensing this thing down nice and even and slow, which takes a while. But you got to get it to where if I have my angle wrong, if I have like my elbow down and I have this thing facing up, that whole front's just going to collapse and you're not going to get any of that depth or comb or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I try and keep a lot of it. I have horizontal or a little bit elbow up to get it to fall down but not collapse this way on top of itself.
Okay.
And now I'm just mainly focusing on the middle, almost towards that back dot, getting those to warm up. That little thicker row of dots in the back is kind of going to help me as like structural support and let that sink down a little bit more even before it just starts getting all crazy out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see those dots are starting to fall in. All those dots are starting to turn into the lens on the front.
Mm-hmm. Starting to kind of bubble, or distribute, sort of. Become one, as it were.
Yeah, the main thing with these, like if you were going for blues or green ones, stuff like that, the green is a little hard to get. If you want like a real nice green one, tough to get, but like a blue one would be really light on fume as opposed to one like the purple one or like these full spectrum ones or like those ones take a lot more fume. And it's really about having like the right amount of fume inside that cup. So you got to kind of know what color you're going after before you get started.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Got my gears turning in my brain.
Yeah, applying
consistency. You just dots. You can do this with like instead of doing dots, you can do one with pulling spikes out. You can do it. You can draw a little. If you ever seen my inspiration, it really made me fall in love with this and had to do it. I don't know if anyone has seen Freak's brain marbles.
No.
That he does these things, but they're done with lines. He'll draw lines and patterns and stuff on them, and turn them into like it almost looks like a brain with the fume and stuff in it. It's really awesome.
Yeah, they look really gorgeous. I'm gonna link it for Will in there or something, and maybe he can do a quick screen share or something.
A Panova.
Yeah, well, not to me, but I'm just gonna send it to you or whatever. What's going on here? All right, I found a better image that it's actually gonna let me load.
Condensing it down, that all those dots are just turned into my lens. Everything's just coming and gathering up and turning into my lens and sinking in.
letting them implode, letting those dots get in there.
And these take a while to condense down.
Sure, yeah.
It's a lot to it because you're flame striking it afterwards. There's a decent amount of work that goes into them. Usually I just let them decide like what the way they look. I just pick if I'm going to turn it solid or hollow, or just depends how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting it work itself back, letting that fall down. You really got to control the craziness in this one. These things, they want to get crazy because you're condensing it down so much.
Ah. For those of you guys that are in the chat room, if y'all have questions, you can throw them in there, and we will perhaps see them, and maybe even answer them, if you're lucky.
Maybe.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
Alright. Got that in there. Try and move this over here before it gets all cooled down so you can check it out before I strike it. See if I can turn this down. She's ripping hot.
Ripping hot.
There we go. You can see it in there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks awesome.
And all the dots just fall in.
Wow.
Like so. All them dots on the outside just turn into the inside. There we go. Super bright. So now it's a waiting game. You kind of got to sit there and let it get cool and then strike it back out. So we just got to... We're going to take a couple minutes to let this thing cool down all the way until I don't see any kind of glow. I'll put it in somewhere dark or something.
Yeah,
under
like
a table.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a little tip we were going to talk about.
And you can see the fume stuck in it. So we'll just wait till that has no glow into it, and then I'll take it into striking flame. Right now it's just really yellow and dull. Usually until I strike it once or twice, then it'll bring out the colors in it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, check this out here. I'm gonna
Here, let me
hop
mute
on
Daniel real
the-
quick because we got some echo.
Here we
Daniel,
go.
can you restart your maybe restart your thingamajig?
You can click them over to me, Will. I'll show you all the that freak. Here's one of those brain marble implosion joints.
Oh yeah.
If that's showing, all the better images of it were not wanting to pop up because they were all expired links and stuff. But here,
Beautiful.
this one I wanted to share, but it won't load. It's just loading the preview
Oh,
of it.
my.
But yeah, I mean,
Pretty
even though it's,
Glasspipes.org is down. If you can't get in, I can't either.
yeah, well, it's I think it might be, it's been moved to Talk Glass, and it's trying to load the image from there. So in any event, but yeah, that gives you guys an idea of how he's doing these implosions with patterns or whatever. They're very beautiful, man. Wow, thanks for sharing that or turning us onto it so I could share it. Booyah. Get off my screen.
Get off my screen.
Yeah, back to
Some
me.
2 or 3 mil or something crazy and getting down and drawing those patterns on.
Right, yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna step away for just one moment.
Yeah, that's.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, yeah, man. It's intense to see, just how many different styles of fuming there are. And fuming is a, such a small part of glass blowing. There's or lamp working, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. It's just there's so many different genres. I love it.
Now that this is cooled down to where it's got no glow left in it underneath anything,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going back in an oxygen flame way to the outside, all the way in the tips of the candles. That's where you're getting the risky part. You're letting it cool down to that point and doing all that stuff that can blow up, like it happens. So it's real slowly off in the back again. And I'm just gonna let that heat slowly work its way in to where the glass isn't so hot that it's moving around at all. I just want that heat to slowly work all the way down to where I can see the fume on the inside will start to strike.
Okay.
To get a nice even glow to the inside of it. Another part that takes a little bit with these things. The waiting and the in-between and the back and forth. It's good to make up a couple of these so you can go in between, like while you're done striking one, you grab another one. You can strike that. You grab another one, you know. If you get ambitious, you can do two at once.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds pretty neat.
And you can notice how far that I'm working away from it too. Like I'm not anywhere that's going to be like melting or just shaping, like changing the outside of this at all. It's just heating it up, sinking it in. Something about that real slow warm up, slowly gets into it, does it. Some people have techniques for doing this stuff in the kiln too, where they just know run them in the kiln for a certain amount of time after you get done with them, and they can do them that way. I found I like the flame striking.
Okay. Somebody had asked a question earlier about kiln striking, so I'm glad I didn't ask you. But that's an interesting. That's another way to do it, guys. You know, you can do it in the flame, or you can do it out here, you know, in your kiln. But yeah, I'm glad we're seeing this version of it tonight, to be honest with you.
A lot of the people that I talk to with how they strike them in the kiln, the biggest response I get is I just throw them in there and leave them for a fucking long ass time. You know, they just leave them in there for a bunch of cycles or time in the kiln, I guess. But I'm sure there's some rhyme to it. People have different cycles. I know some people, like Freak, I'm pretty sure he had some kind of different cycles that he probably ran for his.
Mm-hmm.
And this is slowly starting to sink down into it. I can just see it working its way down to the inside core of that.
The heat base you're talking about there?
Yep.
All right. I like it.
And sometimes this can take a few strikes in between. It can take, you know, as little as one time. It can almost start to strike up when you're not even doing it, just from making the thing. And then it could take one strike, could take 4 at the most, you know, 5, something like that. After that point, you're pretty much going to run into issues with if you're overstriking it or not. It's just a balance you got to really find. You just start to watch it for a little while, and you start to notice when like too much is too much. Like right now, I can see that heat getting way down to the little tips of it. So I'm pretty much done with the strike on this one, first strike. So I can kill that, and then I can bring it back over here so you can see what's going on. To bring it back. So I heated it up until I got that all back to that core glow.
Oh wow. Yeah, very cool.
It almost looks like you've got a black light on it, and it's some UV stuff.
Right, yeah.
So now it's just another waiting game to that. I'm waiting until I can hold it somewhere in the darkness and I don't see any kind of glow to it, and then I go back to the flame striking again.
Wow, again, huh? Okay, so are you starting to get some new colors in the yellows there? Or are you starting to get? Oh, okay, I can see.
Look at that. It's
pink, purple.
Yeah, as it cools down.
Oh, that's so
beautiful,
sick.
man. How many times do you typically do this?
With these ones, I've found usually around 1 to 3 times, and then if I'm going to do it solid, a lot of them they'll strike up as you use them on stuff. Like as you put them on, they'll also strike it up too sometimes. But as long as you're not getting that certain flame, like you got to be careful attaching them to not get that kind of flame down inside of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so you might want to take into consideration what you're putting these things on and how you want the end result to be, right? So you don't strike it and then try to work it into something and overstrike it, like you were saying.
Correct. That's why I was saying a lot of people like to do them, like build the pipe off them and stuff like that, because it's already right there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about attaching, unattaching, putting little connection points on it and stuff, because the strike gets weird. And I'm still learning all that stuff myself. This is just like what's done it for me to kind of get it to where it is. And like I said, Michael Shepard, all the people, there's a few people around me that have inspired me once I've gone down to the shop before. There's people, Mike Clark, Liz Harden, props to them. They are masters of the purple honeycombs. Carl Malone's always inspiring me. I don't know if you guys know Carl Malone on Facebook. He's always inspiring me with the different combs that he posts up. Different fume work that he does. Alright, so this, add a glow. No more glow in it, so we can go back to another strike.
No more glow.
Same thing, back to oxygen flame. Way out in the back. Yeah, and it's like it's really finding that window, because you wait too long and you'll put this thing back in the flame and it'll explode into 15 pieces, and you'll be like, okay, next one. So
Start over, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's really learning that the right amount of time to wait and then come back. Now it's that same thing where I'm just not moving it, getting it hot enough to warm it all up and sink that heat down to the core. Yeah, and I guess the striking is, Freddie explained it a certain way, that what you're seeing is the crystals in it or something are shifting, and that's what gives you see a certain color, because the crystals shift to a certain shape or something. It's basically what I took away from what he was saying.
Yeah, those threads got over my head in some of the terminology, man. And I, to be honest with you, I wish I would have paid a little more attention to what Freddie was saying. Guys wrote articles and such on fuming and that kind of thing, and he's able to achieve stuff in a very controlled manner. So the guy clearly knows what he's going for, anyway. And very cool stuff. He's got a Glasscraft, is it, seminar, I think, or webinar coming up pretty soon, or in March.
Yeah, I seen that.
Farron?
Pretty
Yep.
fair run, yeah. March 3rd?
Yeah,
No,
they
5th.
just rescheduled it to March 3rd, apparently. Jesse Wakely, who does, like, the tech stuff during the webinars or whatever, he just, like, posted in that thread. So for, like, our viewers out there, that's some, like, slightly late-breaking news that the date has changed slightly. So
This just in, late breaking news, guys.
yeah. Stop the presses.
All
Wait.
about it.
I'm getting something in my earpiece. I'm getting the president has been shot. JFK has been assassinated. So a little time travel there for you.
Right.
Strike number 2. Make sure we got enough heat in there. Just warm enough, and that'll be number 2.
Number 2.
Now we're bringing it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
So off we go to let it cool.
You guys can enjoy the fun of watching the cooling process with me.
Yeah.
Right. We gotta cool out together.
I love this camera. I can do all kinds of fun stuff.
I love the pattern, man.
Yeah,
The pattern you've got going in there, it just looks really clean and nice. I like it. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's gorgeous, man.
Oh,
I too have recently discovered my webcam's controls, and I think the last episode was the first where I really started to employ them. Like while I was torching, and yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually gone back and watched it. I meant to, but I remember people were saying that they were able to appreciate a significant difference, and yeah, like the focus control we've known about, but then there's this whole deeper settings page that I just discovered, and I'm like, whoa, gain and exposure and all this stuff.
Even
It's tight.
better. Yeah, even
Yeah,
better.
like Yeah, that's the one that allowed me to cut that gain and the exposure down. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's huge for the glass thing, man. You don't need the best lens or whatever. It's more about the light getting in. It's just
Yep. It's a
these
great
things are,
thing.
yeah, you got to crank them joints down. They're not meant for having glass in front of them.
Yeah, that's right.
No lens really is. It's an insane thing to do for anything.
So Daniel, you
Where
got
it looks cool, you can still go underneath and you can see it's still got a little bit of glow to it.
still got a little. Okay, so it's still pretty hot, but we're starting to get some purples now. It looks like
It's getting a faint little light purple. This one probably have a little bit more in it.
some green. It looks like maybe
This
even.
one is a little bit light. I probably cooked a little bit of it out with the oxygen, but it's the same principle.
Right. Man, that is beautiful, dude.
Do more saturated up. I'm gonna get the focus in on here.
That's killer.
Oh wow. Hell yeah, there we go.
And that one's just got some shit in the back of it, but you can just get that without getting any kind of reduction into it and getting a little bit more fume into it and getting it nice and even without overcooking it. You almost like boil it, if it gets too hot in there. You get like too much silver too hot, it'll boil the actual silver and you'll get like little patches of it. We'll let
Interesting.
this cool, give it one more, see what it does. And then I could, I'll probably take it off, so I'll just remove it right there where there's no more dot pattern
Hmm.
and use that as a cap for something.
Cool, man. There was a question if you wanted to field it there, Daniel, from Brendan Heilke. He asks, what would be the key aspects of controlling the condensing to expand out like that versus imploding into a flower type implosion? So I guess he's asking like on a rod maybe, or versus is that a compression? That's a compression, right? When you're using rod and you're imploding into
Like a solid.
like a solid Maria.
I mean, just two totally different
Totally different
things,
approaches.
really is. This is just kind of letting the dots on the outside fall in and basically captures that. I'm not really sure on the question exactly.
Well, he's looking like he's looking for the controlling the condension. So in other words, like getting the required result versus like sometimes you know how it can be when you're imploding or compressing, you get a different result. And I think I saw
I mean, maybe just going slower. Some people like to do it and they hit it. I see a lot of people when they first try it, they'll hit it too fast.
Mhm.
And it'll just get out of control right away. It's like really letting that whole ball with all your dots on it fall down evenly and turn into that little cone on the inside or all the way out if you want to remove it.
And I think you touched on it earlier with the keeping it more horizontal while it's condensing in and not letting it get too teardroppy or putting your elbow up or whatever.
Yeah, if I hang it the whole time, if I got my elbow up and I'm like hanging it straight down, all that part that's already thin from where I blew out my bubble, that's just going to start to fall and you're going to get out of control. That's why a lot of that even like horizontal helps to like build up your wall a little bit at the same time, so you're not just letting it stretch down.
Word.
I hope that helped. I'm not sure if that was an answer.
I hope so too.
Now this one I'm just kind of heating a little bit more of the face of it because I'm going to take it off of there, so the back part will strike a little bit as I remove this part.
Have you ever had any issues, Daniel, with trapping either devitrification or any kind of foreign particles under the dots and ending up with some ugliness in there? That question came from JoJo.
Yeah, it definitely happens. Definitely, like dirty glass, having little spots or stuff on your rods that you're dotting with. Try and do it when you're not low on propane so you don't get any of those little ghosty cold contact looking marks in it and stuff.
Gotcha.
Try and do that. Yeah, just keep it clean. Like this one's got it's definitely got like a little scuzz up underneath it. But that I'm pretty sure is just from either cooking the silver oddly or from getting a little bit of reduction somewhere along the way in it. Now I'm just connecting a little handle to the front of it, then I'm going to tear it off the back.
All right.
While the front of that cools back down. Yeah, for getting these off, I just like to heat up back here when they're hollow like this. I like to heat up right behind the dots, and then I will puff it to where it gets nice and thin, so when I take it off, it's already just like wants to open right up. So not to go in with too much flame on that, anywhere on the inside of this or nothing. I don't know if you can see this or not, the little band where I'm taking it, heating up.
Yeah, kind of heating. Yeah, I can definitely see the orange in there.
Now this also kind of thickens up that little lip back at the back, so it's not super thin back there, and so you can take it off and like reattach it to something, or use it however you want. I like to put them on stuff as like almost like a little shield, you know, so you could do like a couple little attachment points on each side. Attach it to something like a little shield. You can make them up, use them as like the feet of stuff, all kinds of things. You can get crazy.
Yeah, I'm assuming since it is fume, you know, if you use it in a functional, it's going to do the color changing, color shifting, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, these things look beautiful when you fill them in.
Awesome. Get a little dark background in there on them, and things start to change a little bit. At least they look different, I guess, right? Nothing's really changing except for the direction the light's being refracted from. So.
Now I got that all super thin. Let's stretch that out. Super thin. That'll come right off. And that'll open right up. Like that. Now just get that lip opened up and try not to shoot any of the flame down inside of it. I'm not trying to adjust the strike in it. Just trying to open that up.
You don't want to burn off everything you worked for.
Yeah, exactly. Get it nice and flat, squared up.
Daniel, just to be clear, you do not have an Instagram, is that right?
No, I do not. I need to get on that.
Okay, yeah. Your fans in the chat are definitely.
I love you guys.
They want you to get on that. Yeah.
Seriously, I got some really good people that have supported me along the way, man. I got to give props to all of them. Love you guys. It means the world. A lot more than you guys know, man. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I can see why, man. You know, it's really nice to have you on, and so cool of you to come on and share this with us, man. That is really beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like this one probably could have had a little bit more fume in it.
Okay, still more
You can see
fume.
the difference, you know? You can see the difference.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right. Gotcha. Would it get...
But it's the same principle. You just follow that type deal and just play with it, and it'll definitely help people.
Would this one get closer to the other you showed if you continue to strike it out, or has it kind of reached its saturation point?
I haven't found the exact right answer to that. I think this one may be like at the end of where it's going to get to. Like it's just going to be like that. But if you get more silver in them and they have that darker, that's the color that you really want. That you can see the difference.
Yeah. They're both incredibly gorgeous, but I understand. Yeah, it brings out a little more of the spectrum on the other.
But then you can pretty much attach that to something, use it on a cap, like I said, a couple attachments on something. I just did like a little cup rig, and I got a shield on the front of it that's got a couple attachment points. You can do them as like little shields on stuff like Sherlock pipe.
Oh yeah, a little nice structural integrity kind of thing. Yeah,
Exactly. Put them all on there.
I love it, man. So now, was that marble you just showed? That marble was solid, right?
That one was solid. Air
Okay.
removed from it. And then I just backed it with black. I'm gonna set this in the kiln, make sure it doesn't explode in little bits.
Yeah, we don't want it to explode. That is the worst thing that could possibly happen for glass. We don't want that ever.
But yeah, pretty much just getting that right amount in there and no reduction. Low propane and all the little tiny stuff right there, and it will definitely help if people have not like gotten to that point. It'll help somebody at least get to where they at least can do that, you know. So hopefully that helps somebody. And I love you guys. Appreciate you letting me come on the show and show it.
Cheers,
yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah, of course, man. Dude, thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
Great. Yeah, that really was. That was tight.
Daniel, quick question. It just occurs to me. I mean, have you ever, you've done a few of these. I've been watching you for a while do these, and do you ever okay, you struck it maybe 3 or so times in this particular instance. Is there ever an instance where you just kept striking it and going, like maybe just to see if there was an extreme of like which end you could go to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I would definitely put ones that are like unstruck on pieces and seeing the different like looks that'll come from it being like worked on a piece or other stuff like that. So you can get all kinds of crazy effects with the blue ones. The real light electric blue ones are real trippy because they almost look clear, like there's almost nothing in it before you strike it, and then all that blue will just start coming out every time it cools down from that strike. You'll just see all that blue like grow out of it. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy to see. I want to get some more videos and probably put up like a demo of doing a few different styles of them. So we'll try and get that together. Try and make up some videos for Torch Talk and stuff and post it up, put it on YouTube.
What?
awesome, man. That'd be amazing. The chat room is just aglow with your praises, Daniel. Everybody's in there, and they just absolutely are in love with what you did, man. So
Yeah, it really is, dude. They are.
if you guys in the chat room or
Yeah,
wherever,
still learning myself. We're still getting it down, but that's like the method that I use basically. So
yeah, right on, man.
always
If you
keep
guys,
learning, man. That's the main thing. Is always just take it in, even if you don't agree with stuff. Sometimes just take that in.
take it in.
Don't
Right.
stop growing. As soon as you stop and you like, oh, I got this, I got that type deal. That's when you're done. You know, that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys have any questions for Daniel, you can find him on the Torch Talk Facebook group. He's in there a lot, hanging out. You can also find him on his YouTube channel, which, like I said before, is linked in the description down below the talking heads you see in front of you. You can definitely find him. He has a few subscribers. I think it's like 14,000 some odd subscribers. That's a big number.
All 14,000 of you guys are the best.
Oh, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
that's-
awesome people following you there. That's awesome.
Yeah, really, dude. Do you stream Warcraft or something too, or is this all glass?
And I think it's because I own a squirrel. I think the pet squirrel got like 7 or 8,000 of those. You know, maybe 10.
Dude, I
Yeah.
remember that, man. Yeah, now that I think about it, I remember that, like, when it really was blowing up. Because, like, at the time, I remember being like, yo, you can check out my boy, because one of my good friends, man, he had a pet squirrel, too. And yeah, I do remember that now. Oh,
Squirrel.
gotcha. Very
Yeah,
cool,
Paul,
man.
right?
Very
Paul's-
cool.
Bring him out, but he would jump through all my glass and just like it
Oh,
would
no.
be a disaster. I gotta like put stuff away. He's too fat now, and he just doesn't care, and he will jump through everything.
If you search
funny.
Daniel on YouTube, like if you're just going to try to find his YouTube, and you type in 27boy1 comes up, but then Paul comes up at space Paul, and so it's definitely a lot of people searching for the squirrel,
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. I think that's totally cool, man, because you
like
got
Scott.
having a pet squirrel, that's pretty awesome. If they're willing to work with you. But I've watched Paul drink cream soda, I think it was one night, and
Loves it. It's so bad for. I shouldn't give him any of that stuff, but I can't. Just a little tap once in a while. I can't say no to him.
he's like, it's the nectar of the gods. I can see, you just see him, he's drinking it, and then what was it you gave him one night to eat, and he just sat there on his shoulder and just like,
Probably like almond. It was actual food. Probably like a piece of chip. I'll give
it
him
was
like a piece
or it
of-
was an almond or something. It was a nut, I think. maybe it was a nut. It was an almond, but he sat there and chewed on that thing forever. I just thought that was the funniest thing.
Leaves like a pile of peanut shells and stuff like right on my floor.
Little
Yeah.
Paul. That's awesome, man. All right, so that's the Fume comb demo, guys. Again, if you have any questions, anything you'd like to spark up a conversation about it, find the Torch Talk Facebook group. You can find Daniel in there.
Hit me up. I have no life.
Hit him up. He has no life, and none of us do. That's why we're here on a Tuesday night, so it's all good.
Yeah, if you have one and you're into glass, it's soon going to take it over too. So
Boom.
That's right.
I
that's
would
what to look forward to.
That's right. So, Mike Mason now has, we've had a request to do more advanced things, and then we had some requests to do some more beginner things. And those requests came in at like exactly the same time, so we were like, let's do it, And so what we decided is that Mike decided this. I didn't decide anything, but I just said, okay. Mike,
yeah, it's all good. You were occupied with other decisions.
Mike is going to do this. I don't know how many parts it'll be. It'll probably be 1,000 parts by the time we're said and done. But
never end, man. Hopefully.
Never end. Part infinity. No, but part 1 is going to be the fundamentals, glass fundamentals. Mike, is that what you're going to name or?
The whole series is fundamentals, and this is part 1 of fundamentals. And yeah, so like you were saying, man, we had a lot of people requesting some higher level stuff. Some of it that's even kind of over my head, at least if you want to see 100% success rate. But then some of it that is most certainly not. And, my daughter's 13 now. I posted about the torch that I bought her in the group just recently. And this is kind of my opportunity to reel back to these fundamentals as I teach her. So basically, I'll be starting my 4th year in the torch in maybe like a month. So I don't necessarily feel qualified to teach fundamentals, but I'm going to, and for a lot of reasons I probably am qualified and potentially more qualified than other instructors. But anyways, there's an experience issue here. So this is basically what I'm going to be teaching out of, guys. I'm going to add a little bit of flavor from some of these experiences that I've had with legendary artists and things like that have kind of shaped my perspective. But let's just be real clear here with the Torch Talk fundamentals thing. This is not like Mike Mason teaches you fundamentals. This is kind of like Mike Mason teaches you out of contemporary lampworking. So I just wanted to kind of cite my inspiration here and just kind of make clear exactly what we're gonna do.
Like an adult
Daniel's got
bedtime
the,
story, Mike, right?
Daniel's got the OG version out there.
Yeah. The second edition. Shout out to Dinga for that one. Hooked me up.
Nice, that's awesome. I don't even know what edition mine is. It's like the newest one, probably, I guess, I don't know. But anyways, for those of you guys who don't know, this is by Bandhu Dunham. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right. It's such a cool name. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Is it Bandu? I don't know. I pronounce it wrong all the time.
Bandu.
I've already forgotten how he pronounces his name. He said it in there or something. But anyways, he's the author of this book. I think it's really great. Look at this.
Glass.
What?
The Blashka brothers.
Wow.
Insane.
That is really amazing, man.
That's cactus or what?
It's all glass, baby.
All glass.
Glass is so dope. Yeah, and
on boats.
Woo.
And yeah, for those of you guys out there, we're actually skipping virtually the first 100 pages of the book, or first 75, and there's so many great pictures and historical information and all this amazing. Was that a Lauren Stump piece over there? Hold up.
Oh shit.
Is that Stump?
That's a stump.
That's Stump. We got the Lauren Stump report. Y'all know what to do.
Stump Samurai.
Stump in the house. I knew it. Did you guys see the I don't know if anybody saw this, but Aaron Bison Glass, shout out to Bison Glass, makes awesome stuff and is active in the group, but he actually posted a thread recently. He's like, yo, I'm trying to lay glass into his shower. I forget. He wanted to put it into the floor or the tiles or something, Anyways, I shared some pictures that I took when I was out learning with Lawrence Stump at his studio, and basically he has embedded marbles, and there's one with that, like that samurai's head and like the chest piece with all the
Oh
little
wow.
marine details. There's one of those embedded in the ground. There's all these different ones embedded in the ground right outside of his studio, and it's amazing. And actually, I tagged Lauren, and he actually popped into Aaron's thread and was giving him construction advice. He's like the ultimate father, grandfather figure. And one of like my favorite memories of that class and learning with him was when the class was over, and I asked for one of his stump shapes. We actually ended up having to go out to his garage and kind of build it together because he didn't have any ready to go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was just, and it really did. It felt like kicking it with my grandpa. My grandfather was a contractor, and so we would often build things together, and that. So, anyways, Lauren Stump moment there for you guys. But anyways, so contemporary lamp working is what we are going to be, most of this information comes out of. So, and yeah, like this is the first segment of our fundamentals. And we're going to do like cutting and gathering. And then because it's the first segment, we're going to maybe just discuss some preface type of information or some kind of conceptual stuff to keep in your head. And this is really we're really at the point where this is for people who are either not on the torch yet or just getting started. What's up with the feedback?
Yeah, we're getting a little echo. Daniel, restart your thing.
Restarting.
Restarting.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah,
it comes and goes. It comes and goes, but I think it's a lag thing. But anyway.
Is it? All right, cool. Yeah. Okay, well, here we go. All right, so one of the first things that I noticed as we skipped into like the solid chapter is about it mentions that glass is a constant process of recovery. And basically the better you get, you're going to make less mistakes, but with glass, you're always going to make them. You're always trying to fight against forces. It's something that Roger Paramore mentions in his fundamentals talk, which I haven't even broken out those notes. We'll get into those later because you kind of need to have been through some of these contemporary lampworking fundamentals before you're ready for his. But he describes it as losing. You're losing from the moment you turn that torch on and put a piece of glass into it. All you can do is lose less. So it's abstract, but it's really true. Like, it's never going to happen perfectly. One of the tightest demos I've ever seen in my life, we saw earlier today. They just put it up on the Corning website. Micah Evans. Like, he does like 6 lip wraps, and I swear like 5 of them don't go perfectly. And it all works out in the end because he knows how to mitigate what had gone wrong. It's like his hands are shaky. Maybe he's a little nervous because he knows he's live. Like he goes to tag them all, and they're all just maybe a little off, but in the condensing stage and all that, he's able to mitigate that. And one of my notes, is like, most of you guys have heard this saying, but if you're new, you're going to hear it at some point. It's not what you can make, it's what you can save.
Yep.
So that's something to just think about right from the beginning, is that, like, don't ever expect to get to the point where everything is going to go perfectly. There's always weirdness. There's, no matter how many times you've done something, it's a matter of learning about the variables and learning to control the variables. And the better you get at that, the more perfect it will be. But it's never going to be perfect ever. And like my personal take on this is that, like, maybe we have these idealized notions of glass from before we get into making glass, and we're always striving for that, but like that never existed. You just couldn't see the flaws, or you couldn't see where the flaws were covered up. And as you've done this a few years, you go back and look at pieces that you thought were perfect, and you watch lampworkers that you thought were perfect, and you see that it's not at all, like not one bit. It's actually crazy how much not the word isn't sloppiness, it's just how much imperfection. But then it blows your mind too at the same token, if you're having this realization about a piece that meant something to you, or whatever, it's possible this will happen. You know, don't let it take away from what it meant to you before. It's just, it goes to show you how much, with the right type of control, you understand what mistakes can be hidden, what where the lack in form doesn't matter, you know, or like where the brain fills in those gaps, and where the brain doesn't, where the brain will focus on those imperfections. So a lot of it is about learning those things. The next topic that I thought was that we should talk about, like before we actually get into like any type of structural or like demonstratory stuff, is the heat base. And if for those of you guys who aren't familiar with this term, like this is where the heat exists in whatever piece of glass that you are currently working on. Heat can be on the surface, it can be in the core, it can be any combination therein. As a beginner, hot spots are like going to be your biggest enemy, and if you don't know how to read the heat base yet, so you're not seeing them properly yet, just keep that in mind. You know, like if that bubble didn't blow out right, it meant there was either more glass somewhere where it shouldn't be, or there was more heat somewhere that it shouldn't be. And like it wants to be perfect. These are things to keep in mind. Like get better at reading the heat base. Heat emanates out of things. You know, like if you hold that marble, you know, or whatever, anything that's hot up, you know, like you could feel the heat radiating off of it. Heat radiates inside as well. You know, like most of my experiences with solid work and Murray, and this is really important as you have a bigger and bigger gatherer going. Understanding how much heat exists in that is really key to working efficiently and effectively and safely. You know, like you can go overboard and you can cook out your details on the outside from reheating it too much, or you can go the opposite way and lose a whole piece because you let it get too cold. There's all these things, and like it's all magnified with a big solid hunk of glass. But as you have a smaller gather, whatever size gather you've got, or blank or whatever, just learn to look at it. Heat is the way it radiates. We can see it through the infrared or whatever. Basically we see it as glowing. It's not going to look that way to like a robot or whatever, but or even to like other animals with cooler eyes. But like for us, that's how we see it. Daniel did something earlier that I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about that later. And it was a trick that Jolex actually showed me during the Lawrence Stump class. And he's like, yo, Mike, check this out. And he had something that he was working on, and he actually holds it under the desk. And he's like, Joe, check it out, man. I don't know if you've seen this before, but you know, when you hold things under the desk, you get them in the shade. And then you can see exactly where the heat base really is and that sort of thing. So that was a tip that I wanted to add here. Get it under the desk or get it into the shade somehow if you really want to see and really know where your heat is at in a piece. The more ambient light there is, the less you're able to read that. So it's kind of the same thing we were talking about with the camera earlier. You know, step that gain and exposure down, and you can really see more of what's happening with this thing that's emanating a lot of heat. So you really have to learn to read this. Like that's what my note said. Must learn to read. So like you really do. Like this shit is mad important. It informs every step of the way. Like when it's hot enough to blow out, you know, like is it evenly hot enough to blow out? All these little factors. All right, let's see. Okay, guys, and then for those of y'all who are not on a torch yet or have intermittent access to a torch, honey is actually really fun, and this is a delicious little demo here. I was joking. I was like, man, you know, I can actually do this whole demo tonight or this whole segment without actually touching a torch. So I had the computer set up, and then I realized I was like, you know what, this is actually just more fun and tasty to do with honey. So check it out. We got some honey right here, and I'm going to take this rod. I'm going to dip it in there like about 3/4 of an inch or a little more or whatever, and get a big old glob of honey. And check this out. Like if I let it go, like, oh, it's starting to drip. And so we'll let a little more drip down so it's a little more reactive. And all right, so honey, check that out. I'm letting it. Whoa, this is getting crazy.
It's gonna get sticky up in here.
Yeah, so like you guys can see that this is what it is. Now I'm kind of like in my zone, man. I got like a nice gather of this honey, it's staying nice and even because I'm holding it this way. And we'll talk about gathering in a bit again, but check it out. If I hold it this way, look, gravity immediately wants to pull it down into this teardrop shape. And that's something we'll talk about later. But like the way I put it is when you're down, you're shedding tears. So remember that. If you hold things at a downward angle, whoa, I just dripped some honey.
Oh, I hope that wasn't on your keyboard.
No, went right back into the honey. It was perfect. Anyways, we'll grab some
convenient.
more. Yeah, so I'm like talking and stuff while I'm doing this, but when you and like I said, we're constantly losing. We're constantly fighting a force. Here, all I'm doing is rotating my hand back and forth and basically counteracting gravity. That's really all I'm doing with this rotation. Is otherwise it could just be left the way it is, and you wouldn't have to rotate at all. So, yeah, go ahead and get yourself a rod of some sort. You know, like 7 mil or a quarter. You know, like of an inch or whatever is going to will work just fine. And then, like I said, dip some of it into the honey, and really can get a feel. This is a little more reactive than real glass at its hottest than you'll need to deal with, but not much. It's quite close. So like when you can sit here and do this like I'm doing without really losing that round shape, and like I don't know if you guys could see, but I am just going back and forth. This is not the easiest way to go about this rotation, but this is what you need to do, because there's going to be a lot of times when you need to go back and forth like this with bigger tubing, and just trust me, start from the beginning. Whatever hand position you choose, we can talk about that maybe. I don't know, like it wasn't something I'd kind of earmarked to discuss tonight, but there's like this whole page about hand positions, and you know, some of these guys will like have a pinky balancing this thing, you know, whatever when they do it like this, but like I kind of keep my fingers together here and form the supportive plane. But yeah, you really do want to just be able to continually rotate back and forth and keep this round gather of honey or glass, be it. And when you can do this, and it's really good practice. And you know, I lost the drip of it just for a second there because I was messing around. But in general, this is what you want to be able to do, guys. Is just continually rotate it back and forth, and you know, constantly keep a somewhat nice. You know, doesn't have to stay perfect, but you know, you want it to stay pretty much spherical and just constantly learn to, like I said, you're counteracting gravity. So
it's great for beginners. If you guys don't have a torch yet, grab a straw and
grab anything.
Yeah.
It's preferable if you can get a glass rod, you know, like, but if not, it's no big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, and so anyways, I wanted to talk about this honey thing because honey's pretty cool, and when you can get decent at doing this, you know, you're going to be way ahead of the game, and it's really going to help you learn your hand positions and to rotate smoothly and cleanly and all that. So there we go. All right.
Yeah.
Shit. Can't do that with glass.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier using your tongue marver.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna shut her do Maria, and I was like, and then it all just went right into my beard. It was terrible.
the delicious tongue marver. Like Shell says, you don't want to do that with glass, though.
No, do not do that with glass. So
do not eat molten glass onto your tongue. That'd be bad.
So yeah, all right, and then we're gonna talk about cutting. All right, first of all, the one thing that I wish I did have the flame for is like flame cutting. When you want to flame cut, just rotate evenly with both hands or whatever way you want to rotate, however you do it. This is one of those times when I actually do like to rotate. And it's kind of crazy how I do my hands differently even when they're in the same position. Like, I don't ever pop my pinky out with this hand, but when I do occasionally switch into this one, like instinctually I pop that pinky out as like a weight-bearing. I don't know why I don't feel the need to do it with this hand, but whatever. In any event, okay. This is one of those times because it's just easier to kind of clone my hand motion and go evenly. Whatever works, slowly and evenly in the flame, and then pull them apart gently. If you go fast, you're going to pull a sharp, kind of like almost like a little stringer. You don't want to do that. Pull it gently apart, and you'll get those nice blunt ends when the flame cuts them apart, and then you'll be pretty much ready to punny or do whatever with it. And then you got a number of other ways from there. Nippers, you can pick these up at like Home Depot for $7 or like $20 at Mountain Glass for nicer ones. And these are good for nipping marine or anything. And so yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it just, man, this thing pops. It's really easy to use. If you're breaking down like individual rods, it's pretty good way to go about it. You've got a saw for bigger rods, man. Nothing wrong with a saw, tubing, anything like that, man. A saw is dope. It's gonna leave you a scuzzy edge that you're gonna have to clean up one way or another. So keep that in mind. You can score and snap. You can use a tool like this. These are called like speedy sharps. This one's like I got it from ABR for whatever reason, but I lost one. They're nice, man. You kind of hold it in your palm like this, where you can get some traction on it, and give it that little score, and then put your thumbs behind the score and click. It'll go. These are all right, man. They're also cool for like when you do this. There's a little trick that most of you guys know, but if you don't, and like you're trying to get like a blow tube end open or a point end open, you can cook some of that glass in like on the end, fold it over so it makes a contact point, and then this end, man, being the type of material that it is and like how flat it is, gink, and that'll make a really nice break, and that's a really quick way to open up your blow tube ends and stuff. Quick way to, when you're cleaning up your bench, those little extra seconds really do count or whatever, and kind of get some, like honestly, like as much as I do like to plan ahead, oftentimes I'm grabbing that blow tube that like has some stuff on it and like opening it up while I've got something that needs a blow tube in my hand, because that's easier than actually getting up from the bench. And like I should have planned ahead, but it's just how it goes sometimes. So you want to be able to do this quick. Those seconds do count because you got something else in your hand that's cooling down. So yeah, that's that. All right, this right here is like a piece of like a knife scoring thing. And like it's funny, like I got this in the Escookie class. I spent a week with Matt Escookie. He's freaking a god of glass. He's absolutely incredible. If you guys aren't familiar with his work, he makes a series of work called Glass Trash. And speaking of fundamentals, people wanted to see some shaping and stuff like that, and like that's kind of where I started. Like I'll handle that, just not like this, but like here's one of his shaping demos. It's like he took a point and like shaped it into this freaking perfect cone, man. I mean, look at the tip on this thing.
Yeah, I've seen that before, and every time I see it, it blows my mind.
Yeah, and here's like a tumbler that he made. He gave this and the thing was a gift at the end of the class, actually, man. Like Matt's so sweet. I mean, look at this tumbler, man. Look at the shape. It goes in, and then it's got like a posted foot or whatever, man, and the thing can spin like a top. Anyways, Matt is cookie, but really his line of work, he makes like this is a miniature one. He makes full size like bottles, and this has Encalmo bands instead of the actual ridges of a water bottle. But he makes like full-size bottles and cans and anything like that, and then crushes them or whatever. And his series is called Glass Trash. But he's absolutely incredible, and I kind of forgot where we were going with that. I got distracted by all this nice glass. But oh yeah. Anyways, I got this piece right here in his class, and for opening up like for this type of stuff, you hold this in your palm like this, and you'll go and like. I don't know if I even trust this and want to do it, and it worked, but this is like for point handles, okay?
Cutting
This
the little
little
nub
stone,
off.
yeah, cutting the ends off and pop and getting it ready to open up an end. This is incredibly quick and perfect, and like you just cup it in your palm and do it, and it breaks. You can like, okay, you do it in one move. It's like shink, and then you're already right there. Like, see what I mean? You're already right there with your thing. So then it's like dink and dink with the point end. It happens very quickly and easily. And then it was kind of funny. They were talking about how like if you want to make yourself one of these, like use a junky wheel or a wheel that like a saw blade that's about to die, because it's. I was watching, I think, the Carmen Lozar Glass Masters series video the other night, and Matt was in the audience. They were asking about these, and they were joking about how like you should do it like at a public place or something like that, where you can take it where it's not your saw blade. Basically, was the joke. Anyways, these are actually amazing if you work off of points. So like I said, this is like a knife sharpening stone that was cut into like these pieces, and everybody in the class, they gave them one. So that's why I have that, and that's what it is. Very cool one that I don't think many people know about. But if you watch like Emilio Santini, Mattis Cookie, those guys, they'll do it. Man, today in the Micah Evans one, I noticed he was using like some kind of like, I don't know what it was, but he had like a clay thing or something he was sticking in the end so he could switch sides without having to pop the ends open. I thought that was really clever.
I think he does say what it is in there, but I missed it as well. But yeah, for those of y'all that didn't see that Corning video, man, check it out. Watch it 3, 4, or 5 times, man, because wow.
Yeah, it's my new Scarface backup plan. Like, we've always joked that, like, if there was an issue with the, you know, like, we both just couldn't make the show or whatever, that we're just going to put on Scarface for y'all. But the Evans demo is our new Scarface. We're just going to, like, talk over it like Mystery Theater 3000 or whatever. All right, so that's, like, scoring and snapping, and, like, those are some tools for scoring and snapping. We talk about nippers. All right, check it out for scoring and snapping. These are the best tools, guys. This is little jaws. There's like mini jaws or small jaws. They call it small jaws, but little jaws sounds funnier to me, so we're gonna call it that. Little jaws and big jaws.
Sticky tack.
Yeah, dude, these things will take big tubes. Like, check it out, I could easily score this freaking beer bottle. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, man. Yeah, it's really cool. It's got like double wheels for rolling whatever big tubing or rod. These are both really good tools. For breaking down marine, man, these are amazing.
Real quick, Mike, before you carry on too far, I know Daniel can probably hear us, but our buddy Trendy Ass Dabbers is in the house tonight. I want to give a shout out to him real quick. He wanted to give a shout out to Daniel, who probably wants to give a shout out back to him. But
do
a thumbs up. But no, Trendy Ass Dabbers is actually simulcasting us on his channel right now. So massive props, man. And
we're in syndication now.
We're syndicated. Yeah, we're
syndicated, baby.
No, yeah, man. Trendy Ass Dabbers is a hilarious guy. Great personality. You guys should definitely check him out on YouTube.
That's so cool, man. I hope that he's got maybe some beginners watching or whatever. All right. So okay. So I wanted to show you guys the Jaws tools because these are just, man, they're so freaking cool. And here's like the mini Jaws, man. Same deal. It's got like 2 sections in there depending on the size you want to do. It's a freaking like repurposed thing, you know. So that's just the pliers they happen to choose, but it's got this nice notch and everything for the wheel.
They take some time, Mike, to build those. That does not look very simple to do.
No, man. Like I said,
I don't know.
Definitely like a pair of pliers that they found that was just right for this purpose, or they have one that they machine that notch into, or whatever. Either way, it happens, and I love it. It's like the pliers where you can adjust the size, you know, so it can go in smaller or it can come in bigger. So they're really nice like that, and then you just kick it in there, and it makes like the most perfect score. See, and that one is by far like the quickest and easiest and cleanest of all the scores we've done so far here. So yeah, Jaws tools are dope. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, wet your scores, man. I think everybody saw me do that. Most of y'all know to do that, but if not, score them. According to contemporary lampworking, it initiates chemical weakening. So, but no, it cuts down on dust, and it makes for cleaner scoring and snapping. And then the only other topic was the gathering, and we touched upon it briefly when we did the honey or whatever. And yeah, so gathering is when we literally gather material, and the main things to keep in mind here are your angles. Like Daniel, for example, when he was cooking back that fume comb, he mentioned that he wanted to keep his angle relatively straight. I think he used the term elbow up or elbow down. I don't remember. He uses whatever term he mentioned, like, you know, don't get it up or down or whatever. There's like a real world illustration that everybody may have just seen earlier, but for those of you who've watched the show before, know that I have a way of remembering this that I came up with myself. But it's that, like, when you're up, you're having a ball. So when your angle is up, you're going to form balls, or when your angle is horizontal, If it's up, you're gonna form squat balls. And if
Squat
it's
balls.
horizontal, yeah, you're gonna form like regular, like perfect spheres, in theory.
You
And
gotta watch out for them squat balls.
yeah. And all right, so, but when you're down, you're shedding tears. And this one's actually about to shed a tear right into the thing. Yeah. Woo. Anyways, yeah. So these are all things to keep in mind when you're gathering up glass, and I guess it's not really on the topic list yet. We're talking about solid glass. This is we're in the basic solid techniques chapter is what we're in. But when it comes to like gathering hollow, it's kind of the same procedure, except it's not necessarily offhand, but you're bringing that slight pressure, and that's kind of what's needed for the hollow gather. But it can happen on hollow the same way. If you've got it offhand, you can bring this angle and bring it down, and you'll cook it back on itself. Yeah, and then something else I'll talk about when we're actually gathering solid glass is like, where do you want to keep the flame? If you blast the gather, only so much is going to happen. You have to go into the rod and kind of go into the junction between where that gather is and the rod itself. And that way you're going to melt down new glass into the gather. So that's something to keep in mind that is not necessarily intuitive, you know. So if you want to keep making a bigger and bigger and bigger gather, you're going to hold it kind of down so it'll kind of cook back on itself, or level so it'll cook back on itself, and incorporate that glass that's, like I said, back on the rod or the junction. If you go too far back, you're just going to make a new gather that has to be joined to the later gather. So that's why it's at the junction between the gather and the rod. So keep that in mind. And then the saying that I've come up with for this, that I always forget and mess it up, but I've got it written down here, so I won't today. It's spare the rod, spoil the gather.
Absolutely.
So remember that. If you just hit the gather, you're gonna mess the gather up, or you're not gonna make a new. You're not gonna have any traction. So don't spare the rod. Heat the rod, not the gather. If you want to keep making a bigger gather, if you want to continue to gather glass. So these are all things to keep in mind. And yeah, this honey is where it's at. So yeah, that was really all I had for this segment. These aren't going to be too long. They're really just meant to be kind of quick. We'll chain them together, over time, and I really do. We're gonna go through the entire books, like 1 and 2. So this will actually give us a chance to get quite complicated as we get towards the more advanced demos later on in the book.
Awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, I want to do something really quick because I think it would be just quite hilarious. Just real quick, now that we're at the stopping point for the segment. Here we are, being simulcast over here at Trendy Ass Dabbers. There's Trendy Ass Dabber up there in the corner.
That's too cool, man.
He just did a dab off of Daniel's dabber as well. Like he showed it during that period. So,
dude, this is like exponential internet insanity to me, man. Wow.
Yeah. I wanted to just bring
up Trendy Ass Dabbers.
Show the love. There's his channel there, guys. Trendy As, not Ass. You just sorry, one S, but yeah. There you
That's
go.
really cool.
Doing the Daniel Smith dabber. Oh, there we go. We got some honeycombage.
Oh, that's hot. Is that the one that we did earlier?
This is the one that I just made off the stump leftover.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the other one. I took the little.
Wow, yeah.
I tore it off that little bubble, and I used that little piece that was left on it, and just made that one.
That's gorgeous. Hell
Just a little extra cap for something.
Oh,
right?
hell yeah. And look, he's got it. He's got it showing up here. Let's see if I can get this up here. Sorry, guys. There he is. He's got it up.
Torception.
Oh, look, there's a bunch of Daniel Smith glasswork up. We got some Daniel Smith glasswork from Daniel Smith, and then Trendy Ass Dabber is holding up a dabber. So there you go.
The whole lot of
glass. What up, player? You streaming Torch Talk?
Yeah, I love it. Look at that.
This is good.
It's like we're getting an extreme lag, but that's because,
Right,
Shout out to the Trendy crew, man. Love you guys.
It's got to go up to the satellites and come back down, and that kind of thing. So
that's really neat. That is.
Fuck yeah.
That is so cool.
I've been watching Trendy for a while, so shout outs, man. But yeah, that's awesome stuff. So,
I'm not familiar. I'm glad I've got the chance to.
oh yeah, it's good stuff. It's he's got an awesome intro to his show,
Oh,
which
word.
yeah has been inspiration for me for the beginning of Torch Talk, which we'll probably get to that eventually, but we
Okay.
just haven't yet. You notice the guitars behind me. Something's gonna happen eventually.
We're gonna rock out the intro, huh?
Yeah, so maybe we'll change it up every now and again. Who knows? Who knows what's in the future? But yeah,
Like a live
Yeah.
band to come on and just kind of jam while
yeah,
everyone's.
yeah. We do that. We'll run them through the mixer. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. No, but
Torch Talk, excellent, right?
yeah. Well, wait, you're the brunette, so I gotta be Garth, I guess.
Yeah.
Random air guitar sessions.
Yeah.
Which I'm not as good a
Yeah.
drummer as Dana Carey. I'm Dana
Yeah,
Carvey.
I
No.
think you may be more
You've got
Wayne
skills.
though. I can just see you like, why did you give me a gun rack, Mike? Like, I don't even own a gun.
Oh, gun.
Let
Shoot
alone
your
guns.
brother with that mouth? No, we can go down this road.
All right, yeah, enough, Wayne. We're killing the movie for everybody and watching right now.
Fucking love it. No, but yeah, don't spoil the movie because some people haven't seen that one yet. But
Right? No, I just mean we're killing the memory
yeah,
of the
we
good
are.
vibes. They'll forever associate it with our horrendous rendition.
we're beating the dead horse. Again, guys, we have a Facebook group. If you're not familiar with it, definitely run over to Facebook. Torch Talk is the name of it.
Yeah. Do we have time for some show off time, man?
Oh, you want to do? Yeah, we could do
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if you saw, man, but I messaged you some
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, here, check your messages on Facebook, man, because I linked like a number of some of the cooler ones.
I've been
Like-
definitely not looking at that. I might apologize. Okay.
Oh, no stress, but yeah, man, like I'm personally just geeking out over Stefan Di Boro. I assume that's his real name. We maybe most of you guys maybe know what I'm talking about, but Will's gonna get it up. The baseball set,
Okay, here we go. I was
Yeah.
waiting.
baseball bat dabber, and a baseball marble. It's so neat. It's like the cutest little set.
Give me a second, peeps. Here we go.
Yeah, no stress.
I love
That's-
it.
Dude, yeah, Zach, you got that one up? Dude, that's one of my recent favorites.
The bat. I saw the bat earlier. I think on Instagram, and yeah, Stefan DeBoro is just knocking it out of the park, man. Look, no pun intended. I didn't even fucking. I honestly did not fucking mean to do that.
Lined up and the pitch.
I absolutely did not mean to do that. But there we go. That's pretty rad, man. Good job, Stefan. I love it.
Badass. Yeah, I was interested in making some wood grain technique tubing. I've seen some people do some cool stuff, putting stringers of different yellows and oranges and browns, just
Yeah.
tons of stringers, and doing a pull of that sandwiched in. Looked pretty amazing.
Nice. Yeah. So congrats, Stefan. That's rocking shit, man. I love his miniature stuff. Great stuff. Let's see. What else, Mike, did you have in these links? Let me go back here.
Yeah, there's a couple other things in there.
Let's see here. We got some Adam York work here. Let's see.
That dude's multi-talented.
Yes, he is. Great tattoo artist. He's got some plugs going on here. Let's see if I can enlarge that a little bit.
Those plug molds look interesting.
Yeah. I would like to see the process there, and I guess we're just going to have Adam back on in the future.
Be an awesome demo.
Yeah, but I like his plugs, man. I mean, these especially. These look like, to me, when I saw them the first time on my phone, I had to like zoom in because to me it just looks awesome. It looks like an aquarium. I don't know, like something like
Those things are begging to have like opal coins just put right in the center of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah. With any, I mean, the bigger the gauge, the better, or whatever.
Find someone with like some 50 mil hoops, just get them new some profound 50 mil coins. Drop one of those things in there. Shout out to the homie Chow that I just seen encased 2 of them things. Insane. He did it on the Torch Talk Live group
Oh, nice.
up in Google Hangouts. Amazing.
Sweet, man.
That's a big coin of opal right there.
That's right. Let's see. What else we got, Mike? I'm sorry. I'm sifting through some of the messages here. For those
Do
of
we
y'all
get
that...
do we get those plugs up, man? Sorry, I was a little distracted there.
Oh, yeah. All right, we already showed those. That was what we just did.
That's okay. That's what I thought. Sorry.
Let's
What
see.
about the new torch, man? Noah Scoop Grand #2.
Yeah, let's get that up here.
Throw that up. That thing's looking nice.
Yeah, this torch is great.
Torch talker.
So many buttons to push. There we go. There we go. Look at that.
3-stage.
That's about as up close and personal as you want to get. At least, I mean, for sure with it off, you know.
They're getting big over there. They're getting big.
Look at that. Down the barrel. I like your shots, Noah. These are good framing there. Oh, shit. There it is.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, man. More torches. More companies need to do that. Right there.
Dos.
Right there.
Numero
Every torch
dos.
company should have something like that on their torch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see one with scratched off numbers, you already know something's up. So it's like
Exactly.
simple as that. Your
They should
torch
come
got a
with
number.
Should come with a paper of authenticity, if you will.
Every torch company should do that.
Man, yeah, this is that's a nice torch. You can see it there with some, a phone and some pliers. You can see the true scaling of the thing. It's just a cannon. Pretty intense, man. Nice Marver pad on here.
Oh, now I'm jealous that they marked their torches. That's awesome.
That is really cool, man. And yeah, there it is. Epic stuff. Epic stuff. Let's see what else we got here.
I'd love to try doing fume and stuff like that on all the different torches. They all just got their own little quirks, their own little everything to them. Be fun to try and hit it off on like one of them Herbies. I'm jealous, Mike. You got that nice Herbie over there.
Yeah.
Everything every time you hop on it.
I love that thing, man. It really is nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. It's man. Once you get the GTT, I think everybody should get the Herbie next or something.
Yeah, that's
something with a similar
I want
flame.
both. I want one of both.
I'll have one of each, yes.
I will take one of all of them.
I'll have one of each, yes. So here we go. Sam Alderson.
Wow.
He did some Filicello here.
Those things hurt my brain.
And yeah. That's a lot of work.
Tons of lines, filling them all.
That's that's some insane attention to detail.
It's beautiful work.
And yeah, absolutely. The opal, just because, hey, fuck it, an opal on top of everything. There's two on some of these pieces, actually, if you look around.
Yeah, that purple one with it on the loop.
Yeah, and then I think each one has, this is like a trillion inside there, maybe a little smaller trillion. Some of these may be circles, and I'm seeing a reflection. But they look like the opals. I don't know, that looks like the opal itself in there. But I can't tell. Maybe that's a light reflection, I don't know.
I gotta go light that post.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right. Meow.
Right now.
Did he just say meow? But no, look at the color. I mean, guys, don't take for granted the amount of time this takes, and then following the pattern. Not fucking this up is tough stuff. He's got some good control.
And to do it with colors that are already like sensitive colors like that too.
Yeah.
Like sensitive colors in there.
Beautiful. They'll be available at Rocky Mountain Medical in Colorado. If you are indeed interested in one of these, that's pretty rad, man. I love it. Let's see what else we got here. This is just a collage of what Mike has been appreciating, and man, there's been some cool ass stuff been posted in Torch Talk. And like I said, jump on in and either post your own work or just come in to like the work, whatever you feel you want to do. Get up in there.
Stop by in the live too. We're always in there at nighttime doing stuff like that off in the live. Bob Dog hosts it.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah. 24/7 hangouts are all in the pin post in the Facebook group.
Yep.
For anybody who's watching and is like, what, where, what, how? Yeah.
Live glass blowing, live video chatting. You can ask questions on the fly. You can work with us and that kind of thing. We just ask, that you have a webcam, some headphones, and a decent mic. I mean, a mic usually comes with the webcam, so just bring some headphones so there's no echo, and you're golden. We have great times in there. I've had some awesome moments, some hilarity. You can see this setup right here from Kevin Kirkpatrick. I saw this and I laughed pretty hard. This is. The only thing I think that there was a little contention about his ventilation here.
Yeah.
There may be, you might want to hood it out. That'll help with some of the air removal. That little window there, and just put a box fan in there. You might be fine. I'm just kidding. You don't want to do that.
You Lego station.
Did I not have that up the whole time? I apologize, guys. There it is. But yeah. John Knoll over here saying I think you need better ventilation. I agree.
He does some awesome little miniatures, man. If you haven't checked out his little minis, he's doing some crazy pieces and the smallest little tiny stuff that you could sit a pipe on the gas thing of your lighter. You know what I'm saying? The smallest stuff you can imagine.
Yeah. John's pulling it off, man, and it's really good stuff. I love it. But this setup's quite hilarious. I think that's funny. If you guys, again, if you want to jump into the Facebook, post your own work, or just see what everybody else is working on, the group is definitely there. We just have a couple rules. Be cool. Don't be an asshole. Don't come in and start, throwing shit around. Just be cool. Be civil. And it's all a party. You know what I'm saying?
Come get to know us a little bit, then you can be asshole. You can be assholes to each other. Happy giveaway.
A fair amount of ribbing is okay. Just don't go off on somebody because their fuming isn't quite like Daniel's. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's a silly example, but you know what I'm saying. It's a cool environment, man. We have a very chill vibe. Everybody's cool, just posting work, posting little tips and tricks. That's what it's all about. That's what we do here with the live show every Tuesday. And that's what we'll keep doing for a good long while. If you guys keep tuning in, we'll love it for sure. Was there something I missed, Mike? I can't.
No, man.
I think things going here.
Yeah, we could
add on the fundamentals that you were doing earlier too. The dude Clinton Roman put up a cool video for like learners and people that didn't quite have torches and stuff yet, where he would tape two little flags. He would just make two little flags of tape folded over itself, and he would just practice the spinning and getting those two little flags to just rotate at the same speed, getting that muscle memory.
Yeah, that's tough. And to use a flashlight, I remember he had that where he would set up a flashlight and pretend the beam is your flame, and that's really good stuff. That's So You Want to Blow Glass, and I think there's maybe 10 or so of those.
Yeah, at least 6, I think.
Yeah, at least there's 900 of them, and I've watched every one of them 4 or 5 times. No, it's good stuff though. Clinton Roman. I mean, go look at Clinton's work if you're unsure about his tutelage. It's outstanding stuff. It just blows like a mind.
Although we were both wrong. There's only 5 parts.
I was thinking there's only 3, so y'all got me beat on 2.
All right, well, I think I was the closest then. So.
Oh yeah, totally. I went from 10 to 900, so I'm just that contestant on Price is Right that got laughed at.
Yeah, I think you felt how close you were.
Really nice. Way too. He picked up one of the scoring V-blade tools that my grandpa actually made. So nice to think about possibly something over there getting made on a tool that my grandpa's made. It's a big timer in glass, so that's always cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that ain't no shit right there. That's badass, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Heck yeah. Well, yeah. No, I don't think we had anything else, man. I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. All you cats in the chat room, I'll thank first, everybody. That's all the fam that's in there. I can't believe I used that term. I apologize. In the family. I'll just go ahead and say the rest of the word. I feel weird about shortening things for no reason. But the family of Torch Talk, we love you guys in the chat room. You guys are hilarious, and y'all keep the thing rolling. We love it. Daniel, thank you so much, my man, for coming on and blowing our mind with some fumage.
Yeah, dude. that was a great demo.
Hope
That
it helps
really was.
people. And if anyone's got any questions or anything like that, or feel free to shoot me up Facebook. Let me know.
Yeah, get at him. He's everywhere. You can find him pretty much everywhere. And again, you can find him on YouTube. Link in the description down below. There's actually a link there, and you can just click on it. It'll take you straight to him. And go give him a sub and view some of his videos. Check out his squirrel. It's fucking hilarious. So check it out.
We should actually, dude. If you got the Torch Talk thing Gumby Glass, here I'll message it to you so you can get to it easier. A little teaser. For,
a teaser. For next week. Yeah, I forgot to mention.
Yeah. Check this out, folks, for the audience, because man, this is, if you like tonight's episode, I whatever. It looks like we got another hot one coming to you, baby. Whatever.
We got another hot one gonna get served up. I'm sorry, guys. This takes me a second.
2016, man. I'm telling you, we're Torch Talk. We're doing better about getting all our friends on and all that sort of thing. It's gonna make the show better, and I think we have a community worth sharing with people who are maybe not familiar now. And I know I'm gonna be hollering at some people this year and just trying to keep this party going. With having great guests like Daniel and Gumby to be back on.
Awesome.
Recycle.
Man, definitely got to get Gumby on here doing some of that.
Yeah, we got a little taster here of what we're going to be looking at next week, right here on Tuesday night.
Well, I'm going to do an Ad Block Plus installation demo for you next week.
Yeah, I need it.
I just looking at that, I'm like,
it's weird. Exactly when you said that, it disappeared. But no, we just met our first bookkeeper apparently, and I loved it when I saw it on there. I just started like highlighting it, but no, that was ridiculous. But yeah, Gumby's work is great stuff. He's always a pleasure to have on the show, and so yeah, he will be here next week. And I think he's in the chat room right now. I'm pretty sure he is. He was earlier.
Yeah.
So if you have any pre-show questions, you can always get with him in the chat room, or you can find him on the Torch Talk Facebook. He's typically in there somewhere. Mike Mason, thank you for being with us tonight, my man, and
thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Dispensing the cutting and gathering fundamentals part 1.
Yeah,
we did some cutting.
A lot of people doing it really want to rush through all that stuff and be like, oh, let's just make recyclers and rigs right now, just straight to it, and that's where you get ahead of yourself, and then you're stuck in that forever. You really got to start from the ground up, get the basics, and then everything just is 10 times easier after that. Instead of trying to be like, boom, straight, I got to get my rig game proper. You can't even do like a connection to anything or a spoon or something. It's like,
right,
what are you doing?
Tough, man. I feel people don't want to leave money on the table. I truly do respect that. But, dude, Daniel, the way you just put it was so beautiful about how everything gets so much easier if you take the time to do those things properly. And we were talking about it a little before the show got going, and just how when your hands start talking to one another, man, everything really starts to come together and doors open, and there's just things become a lot more controlled. And
I feel like
so anyways,
a couple of years so far that it's still just getting to that point where I'm really just starting to figure how stuff moves and working with gravity. Like, you make it your friend, don't make it your enemy. You just got to learn all that little stuff. All the basics is some of the most important stuff that you're going to learn.
Yeah, gravity is a great ally. It can be, a contentious thing to deal with sometimes, but it's probably one of your, I guess, like your top 2 tools is heat and gravity, right? So you gotta figure those 2 out, and then you can start using tweezers.
Knowing when to put stuff in the flame, knowing when to take it out, and just wait a little bit, to in between steps, all that kind of little stuff.
Absolutely, it's extremely important, and we're gonna help you guys as much as we can while we do this thing as well, and we're gonna keep bringing people on and showing tips and tricks and stuff like that. We love it. Thank you again, Daniel. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody in the chat room.
Thank you.
We will see y'all next week right here at about 8 p.m. Central Time. So we're edging it back a little bit. We're trying an experiment. We'll see how it goes. But you'll see Gumby Glass here next week. Gumby with an IE. So make sure you do that distinction. And yeah, we love y'all. We will see y'all next week. Keep it melty, and we will see y'all then.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Shout out to Canada.